Sir.
Okay. Reading and approval of the minutes of the previous meeting. Motion made and seconded. Additions, corrections, comments. Lacking any, all in favor? Any opposed? Carried. Bills, communications.
You had a bunch of bills in the packet and they're mostly pretty standard things that you see from a month-to-month basis, with the exception of the New York State EDC annual conference registration for Michael and the Petagrass invoice. Everything else is mostly like monthly things that you see coming in and out.
Yeah, I'd move the bills.
I have one question.
Is there a second?
There is.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Because I don't know what's going on. The feasibility study was about $20,000. What's that for?
So the property we own next to the Finger Lakes Mall is roughly 60 acres. What the board opted to do last year is conduct a market and site feasibility analysis of the property. That was concluded and presented to the board over the last couple of months. Part of the reason that doing that is having that work done provides us the ability to pursue state grants and getting the site further developed.
Okay, thank you.
Further question? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Reported treasurer. I'll leave you with the later, Mike.
Say again?
I'll leave you the later for report.
Okay.
So again, pretty standard stuff here. You've got for January. Actual. For March, there's no fee income, but there are 4 projects, 1,000 projects on the agenda for tonight. So that will impact the fee for services moving forward. There was about $10,600 in interest from your capital investments. Expenses were pretty standard in terms of what you do on a month-to-month basis. So nothing really to point out on the profit and loss. And the one thing to note with the March balance sheet is that prior to pulling this balance sheet, we did do the year-end journal entries from the auditor. So this is reflective of changes related to those journal entries, like the construction in progress line was cleared out. I think cleared out more or less cleared out, and the assets related to the sale of the sewer have been pulled out of our fixed assets. So this is a really cleaned up version of the balance sheet based on all the different capital transactions that happened last year.
Motion to approve the treasury report.
So moved.
Second. Motion made and seconded. Discussion to the treasurer. Question. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I want you to give us a quick report. We'll get you out of the way, Mike.
Okay. I would actually make a recommendation, save that for later in the meeting.
Very good. We'll go down to new business. 7C, authorizing project resolution. Wasco sunburn sales.
Okay, so everybody has this in our packet. We have 3 different project authorizations here. As Chairman Lockwood noted, we're going to go down to item C, MC Wasco sunburn sales. Should be needed. Going to go back here. Page 67 in your packet. So I'm going to read resolution at the top. rather than the full document here. Resolution of the Cayuga County IDA, one, appointing Sunburn Sales Inc. for itself and or on behalf of MC Owasco LLC as its agent to undertake a certain project. It's more fully described below. Two, authorizing the execution and delivery of an agent agreement, leaseback agreement, pilot agreement, and related documents with respect to the project. Three, authorizing the provision of certain financial assistance to the company. Four, adopting findings with respect to the State Environmental Quality Review Act. And five, authorizing the execution of related documents with respect to the project. In your packet, it outlines all other items related to the packet. Sections. I do have all project information on file, should any board member like to review. We did conduct the public hearing earlier this month without issue. All of that being said, Tracy, remind me if we need to go to motion or roll call. Okay. So if there's no issue, I can go ahead and go through a roll call on this here.
Would you like to do it? What?
I'm sorry. How did we end up with the local labor content?
We did discuss that with them in providing a local labor waiver for the
Right.
project as they pointed out in one of their initial discussions with us is the majority of labor they're using is within the greater region itself.
All right, so we're all set with that.
I would say so.
All right, would you like to?
Yeah, Richard Brown, Senior Executive Vice President with Sunburn, representing MC Owasco as well. I mentioned to the board before with a waiver requirement. I'm looking at my numbers here and over 70% will be from that greater area being Oswego County, Cayuga and Onondaga. Our GC is Hayner Hoyt, Onondaga County. They've been with Burned Area since the 1950s. So it's long-term labor, bakery equipment specialized. We've had our bakery for 20 some years, all these contractors and workforce there. We're also going to use, we did tell our electrician, he agreed to contact the IBEW 840 and put a request in for all the electricians that we pull from the union hall to be from Cayuga County.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great.
Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
I'll move it.
Second,
Thank you.
Roll call. Mr. Lockwood,
Yes.
Mr. Marshall.
Yeah.
Recognition is absent. Mr. Shea,
Yes.
Ms. Adams,
Yes.
Ms. Skino is absent. Mr. Rhineflesh.
yes.
Resolution passes. Congratulations. We will be
Thank you.
following up.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much for your time.
No, thank you for the business.
Hopefully I'll be back in another year or two with another project.
All right.
Look forward to hearing.
Thank you.
Great.
Railroad here?
Yes, they are,
Marshall.
Sorry, I think.
Veronica, if you can hear us, we are now going to go to review your project for authorization.
That's 59.
Yes. page
Yes, I
59.
can hear you. Thank you.
So as I believe most members here know, we've been discussing an extension or renegotiation of Finger Lakes Rail's existing pilot. Their existing pilot technically terminates as of June 30th of this year. This would replace the current pilot that is set to terminate. Similar to our other project here, all files are on record. We did conduct the public hearings in the village of Cayuga, also related to the town of Aurelius, in addition to the town of Senate, as well as the city of Auburn without issue. Any questions ahead of reading through the resolution? Okay. Resolution of the Cayuga County Industrial Development Agency, one, appointing Finger Lakes Railway Corp. as its agent to undertake a certain project. Two, authorizing the execution and delivery of an agent agreement, certain modifications to the 2016 agency documents. along with the execution and delivery of related documents. 3, authorizing the provision of certain financial assistance to the company. 4, adopting findings with respect to the State Environmental Quality Review Act. And 5, authorizing the execution of related documents with respect to the project.
The motion.
Second. Thank you, Emery.
Yep.
Okay. Was there a second? Thank you, Bob.
We'll look to do a roll call vote now.
Any other discussion?
Public comment?
Sure.
None was received for this or any other hearings we've had over the last few weeks.
Right.
All right, Mr. Marshall,
Yes.
Mr. Shea,
Yes.
by admission is absent. Mr. Lockwood,
Yes.
Ms. Adams,
Yes.
Spinos is absent. Mr. Rhineflesh,
Yes.
thank you. Congratulations, Veronica. We will be in touch and following up very shortly for closing.
Thank you, and I appreciate the unanimous approval vote. You know, this will provide the railway with what it needs for the ongoing maintenance and ongoing upgrades that they are making, which are significant investments. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes. Next item, it should have been spelled out as 2. We're gonna go to page 39. This first authorizing resolution is for Cayuga Milk Ingredients. The next one will be for Eagle Drive Holdings. I believe everyone is much more familiar with this project as it's been a more recent one that's come before the board, and its public hearing was just last Friday. Okay, so Cayuga Milk Ingredients, 2022 expansion project, 2025 project boundary and scope, project scope amendments. Supplemental project authorizing resolution of the Cayuga County IDA relating to a certain project previously authorized for the benefit of Cayuga Milk Ingredients LLC. 1, authorizing the execution and delivery of certain amendments to the 2023 project documents. 2, authorizing the provision of certain additional financial assistance to the company. 3, adopting findings with respect to the State Environmental Quality Review Act. And 4, authorizing the execution of related documents with respect to the project.
I'll move the resolution if you're done. Thank you. Comments, discussion?
No, not at this point. Obviously, we're, the project was discussed at the public hearing, what we're doing. We appreciate the board's support.
Okay. So roll call here. Mr. Marshall.
Yes.
Mr. Shea.
Yes.
Mr. Latnition is absent. Mr. Lockwood.
Yes.
Ms. Adams.
Yes.
Mr. Rhineflesh.
Yes.
Excellent. Moving on to page 49, we'll now take a look at Eagle Drive Holdings. Supplemental authorizing resolution of the Cayuga County IDA relating to a certain project previously authorized for the benefit of Eagle Drive Holdings LLC. 1, authorizing the execution and delivery of certain amendments to the 2023 project documents. 2, authorizing the provision of certain additional financial assistance to the company. 3, adopting findings with respect to the State Environmental Quality Review Act. And 4, authorizing the execution of related documents with respect to the project.
Motion. Thank you. Discussion.
Same comment as before. Thank you for your support.
Roll call, Mr. Marshall.
Yes.
Mr. Shea.
Yes.
Absent. Mr. Lockwood,
Yes.
Miss Adams,
Yes.
Spino is absent. Mr. Rhineflesh.
Yes.
Congratulations once more.
No, and speaking with Justin Miller, when I say Mr., I usually say Mr. Miller when I'm gonna get sure we get the right one here. Justin Miller, this morning, we realized there's some work through the fee issues over the coming months with regard to when we do move to the closing. We wanted you to be aware that
Mhm.
we're aware of the additional fees that are associated with this, and Justin told me informed us about the formula for that's used, et cetera, and we'll work with the IDA in an effort to get at least a portion of those closed now, with the understanding that the project is some portion of the existing project is still due, and again, we'll work out some sort of structure here with moving forward with these two projects.
Yeah.
It is important. There's the second tranche. We've got this financing. One of the things that the board approved, obviously, is the mortgage recording tax for the farm credit leasing financing of the some of the equipment. There's a second tranche of financing that is right behind it. The project, the plant is going to be operational in July, meaning we're getting to the point now that a lot of money is due. We need to work with Farm Credit East and the IDA to get that second half of the final financing done. And I know Justin's aware of that. We appreciate the board's support and understanding it, and staff's understanding of just how urgent that second financing is, and getting the other mortgage affidavits and things done so we can get that second closing and get those bills paid for the opening that are really going to be coming due here as the plant opens, is slated for opening in July. So and Justin's aware of that, and we worked on how we could do that most efficiently. But again, anything that we could do to help move that along, because there is a sense of urgency here.
I am here as the CFO of both entities to implore speed if we can possibly have it. We have quite large things to do, so.
But we've heard that loud and clear throughout this process. So that's why we made sure that last month we adopted the resolution to entertain the project, got the hearing through as of last week, as well as authorization today. So within 30 days, we've gotten that, and we are very much looking forward to staying on pace with you to get to close.
We appreciate that, and Justin's again been very helpful. This was not a criticism, was just
No,
making us
understood.
all aware of how urgent it is as we move closer to the opening day and the financing being done. It's a lot of it's a function of our financing, working with you to get the documentation necessary to get that done. And there's been a lot of complicating factors. Obviously, the expansion of the project slowed it down, and working through that. We worked with the town of Aurelius on the project and the site plan approval. That all took time. And again, not a criticism, just to keep everybody aware.
One thing that helped you, our meeting was moved a week later this month, so we were able to put the public hearing prior to this too.
It's been great. Thank you very much. We just appreciate everyone's assistance.
Justin, do you see any issues or?
No, I think
Is there
we're in
anything
great
you-
shape. Sorry about that. My speaker is a little weird. We're in great shape, I think, to move quickly and close with CMI in the next couple of weeks. And we'll have more to talk about later this year as well. And I think during executive session, we'll have more to share as well.
Did you have anything else you want to bring forward tonight?
No, did you want us, Justin, I think you mentioned us sticking around for executive session to answer any questions? Is that what you want, or do you want us to leave? We're happy to leave either way.
No, I think if there's a discussion about the industrial park in general, I know there's a desire to talk with the board. So if you guys stick around, I'll defer to Ray and Mike certainly, but for portions of that, it might make sense for you folks to stick.
Thank you. Okay, where were we? Back to regular business. Now we'll do your update.
All right. So as always, within your packet is my written update, but that's I've done and over the last several months. I'd like to bring some additional updates here. As we know, over the last month, we've had several public hearings for our 3 different clients that have been here this evening. They all went along without issue. Thank you to the board members who were able to be there for those hearings. It's always great to have you have those. One of our other tenants in the park, Denkovic, is actively working on their application. The IDA is anticipated ahead of a regular May meeting. Some of our other outstanding projects here. We partially closed on the Sunny Solar projects last year. The initial intent was to wrap up the pilot portion within the spring. As of right now, after meeting with their rep, they're looking at September right now, and that's due to a couple of unforeseen issues, but still on track to get that closed later this year. There's 2 or 3 other projects between Fleming, town of Brutus, and the town of Scipio, smaller projects. They're collectively between $5 to $10 million. They're outstanding right now, but they're smaller and working at a smaller pace.
Those are solar.
No, these are a variety of projects that are not solar related. But I will say one of our last major items is the major Conquest Solar project up there. I did have a chance to speak with one of the reps just earlier today. They are moving a couple of things around, and given the economic environment we're in, that's kind of shifting what their timeline looks like. And they've also had a little bit of change of project management on that scope. So it's shifting a little bit, but they're still very much committed in seeing that project move forward and engaging with the IDA. So I'll keep everybody updated as there's any development there.
And that's a large project.
That's a very, very
Is there
large.
time shifting, moving it up or delaying it?
Delaying it at this point, and again, that's principally due to a change in project management as well as the economic environment we're in. So it's creating some turmoil specifically for larger projects that are trying to source material. So that's where that's sitting there. So it's not, we took it off the agenda here. I do have an update on our sewer project here. I've been working with Steve in trying to wrap up our ESD and EDA grants. We did have the most recent change of control request approved by the EDA. We're just working on getting that processed with the ESD grant. We just spoke with the representative yesterday about the WMBE waiver. There's a couple of items we need to submit to them for that to be fully approved, but just before the meeting started, I did hear from our grant manager that it looks like it's going to move forward. It's just a matter of wrapping up this outstanding waiver request, and from there, it's my anticipation over the next couple of months we should be able to button this up properly. Moving on to a couple of other items here. I myself have been meeting with our regional reps between Center State and ESD. This is by and large really to ensure that we're being well represented within the region and staying within a collaborative kind of discussion with our partners there. And that's been good. And also bi-weekly meetings with our more local partners, Auburn IDA, Small Business Development Center, TCDC, City of Auburn. So it's more of a check-in meeting to make sure everybody's on the same page. Did have a chance to sit down with Empire State as well as Chairman Anna a couple of weeks ago. Right now, I've been recommended to be our county's representative on the Economic Development Council for our region. Historically, that position was filled by CCIDA. With CCIDA's absence, Janie Haynes has been in that position. She's moving to city manager, so Chairman Anna recommended that I take that position there. So moving on, as shared earlier this week, the tourism office is having a panel event in the next couple of weeks here. Karen Poole, their executive director, asked me to sit in on that panel. The discussion topic in general is place-based branding, and a lot of that has to do with economic development. So she's asked me to join that panel there.
Nice.
Moving on, I think some of you know, certainly our legislative members here, is the county planning office was awarded a grant for a countywide strategic plan last year. They're kicking that off soon. They've asked me to sit on that review committee, so I'm going to begin working with them on that. It's going to be a long process, about 3 years. They're going to be working with all the towns and villages and putting together a comprehensive strategic plan. So happy to be a part of that. As the economic portion, it's going to be a big part of the plan going into that there. As Tracy made reference to, later in May is the Economic Development Conference over in Cooperstown. This is a very large event, probably the biggest one throughout the year. Really, really important networking event to be at there. So having our presence there is important. Moving on. Just this last week, I was invited to be a part of the review committee for New York State Grown / Certified Infrastructure and Tech Grants. This is specifically for our agribusinesses. So there's a couple of different segues there. So I myself, I had also recommended Dan Welch from Cornell Co-op to be a part of that review committee. So there's good representation from our county within the central New York region for grants. There is a possibility for stipend monies to be afforded to us for that. So if I do this work, the money's going to go to the IDA if any stipend money comes in. I don't have any information on that quite yet, but I'm just letting you know as a full disclosure, any money's coming in, it's going to come into the IDA, whatever that amount looks like there. 2 other items here. Thanks for bearing with me just on this section. I'll try to move on to the other.
Well, it's not like you're gonna be busy, Mike.
Wells College sale, nothing really to report on that quite yet. As you know, we see what we see in the paper right now. That's what's publicly known. Behind the scenes, potentially a different story, as we've discussed and as I've maintained. Is we're happy to help whoever winds up being the developer there, depending on who it is, but we're in wait and see mode as it is. So that's where it stands at the moment. Last item within this little section here is Chairman Anna is looking to reactivate the Micron committee that former Chairman Gould had set up. There were 4 or 5 different committees. One was land acquisition, another was housing, another was workforce development, there was energy, and then there was just a general steering committee of everyone involved. So that worked pretty well as it was running back then, and he's looking to reactivate that. So I made sure that we'll be represented as part of those committees. Onto our operations segment here. As of the end of last month, and big credit to Tracy and the MRB team, we got our Paris reporting locked up, completed, audit report is done and completed. And we'll see if there's any feedback on that, but I feel pretty confident in the work that was done. Our generation CD matures next month. I'll look to have a recommendation or recommendations for alternative banks as we transition from generation. What I'm planning to do in the short term is to take those monies, put it into our money market account at CLNB. It's been performing fantastically for us. So the more we put in it, the more we're going to generate in that interest. Back to an audit item, did issue an RFP as of April 10th, with the deadline being June 6th. So by our regular June meeting, I'll look to hopefully have some options for the board to take a look at there. That's everything I have here. So between this and my written report, happy to take any questions.
Oh, like I said, it sounds like you're gonna be busy.
I don't have a question, but a comment. I know that when we had gone through our package and just looking at the, what we wanted to focus on, it's quite clear to me that you executed on it. We wanted to engage more, and make our presence, and show the value that we bring to the community and to economic development as this agency. And you certainly have gone out there and you're doing that. And so I'm thrilled to pieces that we have you as our ED. So you let us know how we can better support you, because that seems to be quite an undertaking.
you know, with all of the different committees and so on that you're gonna be part of, so. Let us know we can support you, but thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Further questions? Unfinished.
So this should be in your packet, which page I can't say offhand. We did discuss this over the last month. This is basically a marketing request from Finger Lakes. As noted in our last meeting, one of our well-known members within the region, Michael Zoville, I had a conversation with him about this. The full marketing request amount is about $7,500. What I had told our board as of our March meeting is to see if our other ED agencies would be interested in kind of a partner payment, either between the Auburn IDA or CCDC or a combination of the two. I haven't heard directly back from them quite yet on what that is. So I'm not sure if you want to make any action item on that today in lieu of their feedback or direct support. Any monies at all or nothing.
Well, maybe table it for another month and see if we get any feedback.
Everyone in agreement on that? Okay.
New
And
business.
it's funny because sometimes like the boards overlap the wrong way, so they
Mhm.
may not have had a chance to meet yet.
Right, right.
New
Also,
business.
I forgot to put it on the ADA agenda. Oh, my bad, sorry.
What's that?
I forgot to put it on the ADA agenda, so that was my bad.
Well, there's that too.
I'll make sure that's included for next month as well then. Okay,
Ready for new business?
sure.
Penalty.
Right, so Tracy, do you want to speak to this or would you prefer I did?
No.
Okay, so as noted, as part of our cleanup efforts
That
from
was too quick a no.
part of our cleanup efforts in 2024 and through the audit year is we've got some outstanding items to clean up. Part of what we discussed between Tracy and I and some counsel of Judson on this is we have our upcoming payments vis-a-vis Finger Lakes Rail, and then we have additional payments as typically scheduled in September. So we're looking to just package those payments into those regular payments there rather than sending random things out throughout the year. So that's the intent we would like to do. It's basically a way of saving paper and just being a little more efficient of how we do that. So that's really it. Okay.
Part of the audit report was they recommended that you have a special bank account to deal with the, have you set that up?
Yes, that is set up. So what we ended up doing, Mr. Marshall, over the last year is we switched over from Generations as being our primary checking and operations account, put that into Cayuga Lake National Bank, and we're now using Generations checking as our pilot. So money goes in there and it goes out, and that's it. Generations is being bought up by a credit union, so we're going to wait for our existing CD that's in there right now to mature over the next month, and then look for a new bank from that, but with the very same intent of having a dedicated account specific to pilot payments only. Yes.
Economic development.
Item 7E.
Cayuga County Economic Development.
Okay.
Yeah, I sent out a note to everybody ahead of the meeting. And I talked to Jonathan a little bit and
You talked to me a lot.
I talked to you a lot, talked to. But I think what we'd like to do is,
He's got into my happy hour.
did I? Oh, no. Well, I got more time.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. But I think the vision I'd like to do is provide the business with a one-stop shop, the economic development that we've always talked about for Cayuga County. And accomplish it via a partnership with the various organizations currently involved. in economic development in the county, using a shared service model to provide flexibility and low costs. And like Ray and I went back and forth, so what I'm thinking is we get the various organizations, the county planning and economic development, us, CCDC, Capusa, Cayuga County Water and Sewer Authority, Chamber of Commerce, and small business. And then and I thought, like when we talked about it, I thought it was great, like, we don't really want to be a lead agency. We just want to be a partnership and a collaboration. So we formed the group. And then what I'm thinking is like staff, office space, we can go in on it in a shared model. And if people want to participate, because I'm thinking like probably the water and sewer folks, they're probably gonna stay here. So if we lease new space, they're probably not gonna move. Where on the other hand, us, the small business, whoever might want one office. And for each group to go out and get office space individually is probably prohibitive. But if we do it together, we'd save money. And then the same thing I'm thinking with the staff. We have a collaboration, we might be able to afford to hire a marketing person. Where if we do it individually, we would not be able to do it. So what I'd like to do is get all the organizations together. And what I thought we could form is a subcommittee. With me, Bob, and I wish John was here, with John ideally. And then reach out to the other organizations. Form a structure, get some verbiage behind it, form a preliminary budget. And then Jonathan's thought that we should take, if we all agree, then push it to Bob's group, the county planning. And then go up there through that mechanism to the legislators.
Comment.
That was a lot.
It was a
So
lot.
it was quite a lot, and
I've been thinking on it for a year.
really.
Yes.
What I was thinking about, well, there were a couple of things actually. I
Yes.
remember last year, wasn't it last year, when I think Aileen with Steve Lynch, I believe there was this committee. And all of the various organizations had an opportunity to come to the table and get this the information was shared to say, hey, we've got this vision that we would like to share with you and hear from you as to how, whether or not this is something you think we're able to do, partnering together and all of that, collaborating. I don't remember seeing an email specific to this. So was that done, or are you saying all of what you just shared with us? It was.
No, I'm sorry. I thought you did email
You
it.
did, but was there a meeting that everybody?
No, there's no meeting.
Oh,
That was just strong.
Oh, okay, because
I'm
I
sorry.
heard you say meeting, and so I was like, did I miss a meeting?
No.
That,
Haven't been one yet.
Yeah, haven't had one yet. So you spearheaded this and threw this together with Mr. Lockwood. Okay. So the other question then I have, being that you haven't
Damn it,
probably
this
met,
is conceptual, right?
just
Yes.
conceptual. So I would like to raise my hand and say I'd like to be part of that committee.
Okay.
Probably.
The problem is that we get 4 people.
Oh, then it's a public
We'll
meeting.
have to do the 4 people committee.
We've got a quorum.
Got a quorum,
Do I? Okay.
but
I'd like to, I feel like I'm a board member and it just sounds very exciting and I'd like to be part
oh
of
yeah, I
that.
agree with you.
So,
I
how
I just
could
think
it
it's
be?
called official. Right here and left. How's that work?
You could probably have it set up so that you could have a quorum there and still have it legal.
They'd have to advertise the meeting.
Yes, but there's nothing wrong with advertising.
Okay,
That's what I would think, and then as many.
I'm just raising,
I would like to, just do more with this. I'm
Well,
I'm
let's
taking
go
this.
in the 3 of us. And
It seems like you're trying to keep me out of this meeting. I want to be part of that.
no, I'm sorry. I mean, you, me and Bob.
I love that. you know,
Then it's
so that
three.
I can, do you wanna do that?
The public, if you get the four, it makes it difficult, because then you can't have a quick. You can't.
Well, not only
schedule-
that, but then you're gonna have to,
Yeah.
there's gonna be minutes and it's gonna be, I'm not against it, just. Maybe down the line you could, I think to get the thing off the ground, you gotta be,
Agile,
yeah.
Okay,
yes.
all right,
No,
thank
no,
you.
no, I'd love to.
That's wonderful.
I think you also have great questions.
Good, I'm glad you feel that way.
No, yes.
All right,
Mike,
this is very
any
exciting.
comments?
And of course, you know, Mike, we'd like to have you in the discussions.
Okay. So, I guess I'll wait for some sort of direction of how you want to kick those sort of thoughts, discussions off. I guess my only comment, around all of this would be is it feels as if that's a lot of effort and work for board members and their voluntary time to take on, when it's my belief this is really a county problem and the county ought to be doing it.
I think with a little bit, I've talked to a few of the legislators. I think they probably have their hands full at the moment.
Understood. But
And we've
if,
been,
if this is a countywide economic discussion,
yeah,
then why would the IDA volunteer its resources when it's not being offered those same resources from the county? That's kind of my thinking there. If you're stepping in on behalf of the county at its request, what's the intended outcome? I guess is what I'm trying to work through here. So if I'm hearing you properly, there would be some cost saving measures by having a shared service model. Say we have the same building, we can share some staff as best possible.
no, we would make, at the end of it, we would make an ask of the county for some financial support for the shared service.
Okay.
I would see that starting out and seeing if there is an interest with the different groups doing this. And if there is not an interest, then you have to go a different route. But if there is an interest, then set it up so that that's developed. Ray talked to me about the necessity of having some type of office space for us.
Right.
And we can't wait for this committee to function over.
We just started. Now you're already criticizing us. What the heck?
I'm just pushing it. But I think that
Yes.
it would be behoove us to find out if there really is an interest with the other groups. With whatever group you want to set that up, but find that out as soon as it's.
Yeah, we
to
can
do
start
that.
making some phone
That
calls.
makes sense.
Yeah.
I do want to step back if we may, please, just back to the comment that Michael just made. You know, when I started this, based on what you were sharing and engaging all of the various economic development organizations. Again, I remember when Aileen's team had brought forward that. So, you know, just based upon what Mike shared, I think I agree with him that, you know, it is county-wide economic development. Shouldn't the legislative body be really leading the charge on this? What would be the reason why we feel strongly that we should pursue this effort that, you know, you've brought to us? Why do you think that we are best suited to do this versus, you know, having the legislative body be the ones to lead it? Because again, it involves everybody.
I think that's a good reason to have this small committee to explore what is happening and what isn't, because right now, Mike and I've talked a million times, nothing's happening.
Yeah, and I think that's really I mean, my own. interest,
I'm not trying
right?
to step on Andy or Mike, but
No,
I don't think it's gonna hurt to have
Yeah.
somebody push something over the hill.
Yeah, and my thought is the legislators are busy. They've got a ton of issues in front of them. This real issue really.
Yeah, I
isn't-
really miss being on the legislature.
I can imagine. And really, this hasn't, the last year and a half, this hasn't moved forward. So I think if we can give it a little push, that would be great.
Really, has it been that long though that we had that first meeting, a year and a half? Oh my God, time is flying, isn't it? It was just last year. No, okay.
Yeah, life goes quick.
Okay. So thinking about then the next step, are we feeling all like,
And I did talk to Jonathan Ann a little bit, and he's supportive of this. I think he's got his hands.
so then tell me-
Don't be laughing.
Tell me about the next step, then, the smaller committee is going to meet just to discuss the strategy for us to go after or to communicate with the other agencies
Yes.
as to see what their appetite is like to join
Yes,
this, what we're proposing as the Beaver County Development Partnership. All right, and I guess then thereafter we can come back to the board
Yeah.
and then decide as to.
yeah, and the three of us could chat a little bit after the meeting
Oh,
about next steps,
okay.
if everybody's agreeable.
That's,
Any comments from the legislature people that are present?
I've never heard this before, so. To say we're busy, and we don't think it's a priority is not really
No,
accurate.
nobody said it wasn't a priority.
Well, we're not too busy. I don't know what's going on. I read my news from the county in the newspaper, so I don't know what's going on. So this is always gonna be a priority for all of us. And I know, Mike, you also sat in on all those meetings last year with the city, IDA, CCDC. So there has been formation there. I would talk to them and see what they've started.
Oh, yeah, we'll have, of course, have Mike involved.
But, our chairperson may have a conversation with you, but, he hasn't had one with the rest of us, so he's one vote too.
Yes.
Well,
But luckily,
If
we're
anybody-
only wasting our.
if anybody's got opposition to it, let's hear it. If not, Andy, Don and Bob. Good luck, thanks.
Thanks, Ray.
Let me know, and I'll be as involved as I can be
Yeah,
with you.
we'll keep you
I just,
updated.
to keep away from a quorum.
Yes.
You can certainly praise me as you do,
oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
okay, with that. Thank you. Anything else?
Fiduciary acknowledgement forms, it's the back of your packet. No board member is allowed to leave until you sign that and turn that over to Tracy and I. Fine print.
Upcoming
can-
events.
They just can't.
Okay, upcoming events, ABO training, this is always done online, next couple of dates, it's May 14th and May 28th. 9:30 to 11, per our government committee, objectives as board members are to complete this every couple of years, so if you haven't completed it within the last couple of years, let me know. I will get you signed up.
Next meeting is.
Next meeting is May. It's like it got cut off on our printout here.
What was the training? I'm sorry.
May 5th, sorry, May 15th.
Let me see, I just saw
The next
that.
board meeting is, yes, the training.
May 14th.
Oh, the next training.
May 14th through the 20th and the 28th, actually, for ABO.
Oh, May 14th and the 28th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I did that.
I did, I know.
Is there a motion going executive session,
Reason,
discuss acquisition of properties? Or sale thereof?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're in. Thanks, guys.